So the usual big breath in, reach it up, go over side to side. And get those sleepies out. Oh. 8, and let's make those circles on the ceiling. It seems like every morning client I've had this morning has been sleeping in. That might be, our days are getting shorter, shorter, shorter. Everybody needs more rest. And that's a good thing. But it brings our hands down to our shoulders. What we want to do next week. And if you want to keep building these workouts, or if you want to shift to something completely different and maybe focus more on movement patterns or something silly and fun, or maybe something shorter and more intense, because you need to get your stress out. So think about it while we're doing this. Nobody's responded to my email yet. Not that I expected to hear this fast, but think about what you'd like. And then at the end, when I turn off the recording button, you can tell me. And we'll plan for next week accordingly. Let your arms come down slowly. And just let your arms swing. Open the chest, the shoulders, the back. And let's turn these into twists. Get that rotational movement warmed up. All right. Roll the shoulders one at a time. I can let each shoulder is feeling good. And we'll come down to the hips. Let's pop them out side to side. Go for as much movement as you can. Maybe double pop each side. And let's turn those into hula hoops. And reverse for 6, 5, 4, nice, 3, 2, last one. Let's go figure 8s. Okay, and reverse direction. Nice, let's come down to the knees, circling it out. And reversing direction. And let's take ball of your foot into the floor. Press the ball of your foot down as you circle out your ankle. And reverse direction. And let's switch sides. And reverse. Shake your ankles out, make a few circles. And let's stay in the lower leg. We're gonna come into first position, heels pressed together, knees, calves, thighs pressed together, heels pressed together. Get that entire midline of your body fired up. 7. Let's do 4 more. 2, 1. And then just for grins, let's go pigeon-toed. We haven't done this one in a while. So pigeon-toed and lift. Good. And then a little prancing. Just make sure your ankles are still popping and moving. Nice. Find your balance on one foot. Take that leg out. We'll do some ankle wiggles. We have a little jumping coming up first thing. We've learned this month, got to get those ankles nice and warm. Let's rotate from the hip and lift up. See if you can pull the inside of your heel up to the ceiling without bending your knee too much. Nice work. Switch sides. Plant your foot, spread your toes, find your balance. Stick that other leg out. Ankle wiggles. Trying to move just from the lower leg around the ankle. And then we're rotating from the hip, moving the inside of that heel all the way up to the ceiling. Ha ha ha. My leg won't do it. Right. So let's come into our softball pitches. So using your legs, your whole body, your arms, your shoulders. 3, 4. 2 more. 8, and let's go to the other side. Around we go. And let's come back to center. Short stop position, hands on knees, drop one shoulder, then the other. And then sinking down a little bit lower, shift your weight side to side. Get that stretch in your calf if you can. If your knees are tight, it happens faster. I mean, if your ankles are tight, it happens faster. If your ankles are pretty flexible, you may not be getting it, but we're still working through them. And then try to sink down a little bit lower. It's almost like you're crouching. And we're going to add arms, reach and reach, reach. Do 3 more sets. 3, 2, last one. Okay, come back to center, sink down again. Let's do little pulses here. We got squats coming too, so we want your low back ready for it. We want your inner thighs ready for it. Let's bring our hands down to the floor and do some bottoms up squats. So relax your head, neck, and shoulders. Don't look at me. Sink your hips down and bring them up. 2. 5. 6, and then we're going to stop down here in the bottom part of the squat, lift our arms up and stand. And we're going to do a few more that look like this. We're going to fold, come into a squat, lift our arms up and stand. 2 more just like that. Down, hips down, arms up, butt up. Last one, down. Whew. And if you're not warm by now, I don't know what's going to get you warm. Plus, I first ever step. Whole body. So we have our A's and B's. We're combining them and doing them twice. We have our high knee to reverse lunge. So high knee jump, if you will, or roll up. You can't see my feet. Or roll up onto your toes. So you can make it dynamic. And that's going to build power. If you can jump, add that jump. So you can focus this first round on either propelling yourself up higher, getting more power out of that leg, and then coming into your reverse lunge, or you can jump however you want. And don't do what I just did. Focus on controlling the descent. So it's eccentric, it's harder to put on the brakes, if you will, when you're working with gravity, especially after you power jump. So first time through, focus on one of them. Second time through, focus on the other. And then we have our around the world and soldier planks that will pair with that. So let's go for 8, jumps to a reverse lunge on each side. Then we'll come down on the floor. So if you're ready. So I think of same side, arm and leg back, sets me up for being opposite arm and leg when I come forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Takes a lot of energy to get that propulsion. Okay, same side, arm and leg, opposite, leg back, arm forward. Let's come up. Woo-hoo. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good work. So at the risk of cutting off my arms when I jump, I'm going to change my camera. Let's come down on the floor. Give yourself a few seconds, catch your breath. Whew. Getting the power to lift yourself off the floor is a lot of work. So soldier planks or around the world, you can do this on your elbows. You can do it on your hands. We're going to go for 8 total. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure your hips are picking up. 5, 7, and 8. Come back into child's pose. Catch your breath. I'm going to grab a quick drink. Let's take another 30 seconds or so, and then we'll get going. So whatever you were focusing on before, you can keep focusing on it. Who am I to judge? I'm not in your room watching you what you're doing. I am. Kind of. I can kind of see you in little boxes. So think about propulsion or think about the landing. Sometimes one leg is better with one than the other, and you might be opposite, like I am. So play with it, focus on it, and see what it feels like, and let's go. So side 1, up and hold. And hold, hold that bottom. There's 4, there's 5, there's 6, there's 7, hold, 8, and rest. So hold is at the bottom. Don't just spring right back up. It's using momentum, which works. The whole idea is about building the control. So let's switch sides. And up. 2, catch yourself. 3, feel solid. 4, trust your legs. 6, and 8. Nice work. And then we'll come down on the floor, catch your breath for about 10, 15 seconds. Woo, 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 woo. It's not taking a lot to get my heart rate up these days. Which reminds me I need to set my watch. Every huff and puff counts. Okay, find your plank, elbows or hands, around the world or soldiers. If you're going around the world, go 4 times. If you're doing planks, shoulder planks, we're doing 8. So 8, 7, see if you can pause and hold that top. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come into child's pose and rest. Time for another drink. And then we go into squats. Some more plank work with our renegade rows. And rolling over, doing some more pec work, our flies. So we're doing pretty much squat, core, and chest in the next round. Make sure you got your weights handy. We're going to take another 30-40 seconds. Let your heart rate come down. Recover, have a drink. Change your thermostat, whatever you need to do. It's 4 degrees outside here. And I reheated the room a little bit too much. Going from 4 degrees to 60 degrees is hot. I think the room probably got down to 50. Just a little space heats up fast. Okay, so plate squats. We're going to go for 12. I want you to think about 2 things. Okay, you could make it, if you want to go heavier and challenge your legs, could make it a goblet squat, bringing your elbows down inside your knees and go a little bit heavier and test yourself that way. So you could double up your weights and make it heavier. Your legs are really strong. Or we can do it the way we have been doing. And we're going through 3 sets. So I'm going to do all of these where we press out. So as your hips go back, your hands go out. This is a great one if you're still trying to figure out how to get depth into your squat. Or the third one, which gets even fancier and is, well, I should say, if we're going to be doing this, you don't want to go so heavy because a heavy weight out here is going to be really hard on your shoulders and your back, and you're going to hate me. So heavy if you're just doing a goblet, lighter if you're doing the press outs. And also if we get to that 3rd set and you feel like you want to challenge your core a little bit more, we can stir the pot and get your abs engaged a little bit more. So I'm going to stick with the press outs to start. Kind of a nice way to warm up your squat. So as your hips go back, the weight goes forward. And we're going for 12. Go for 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Let's put the weight down. So I met a woman last week who takes one of the classes I teach at lunch, who can't do a sumo squat. Her hip was rebuilt and there's so many pins in there. She can squat all the way down, get her butt to the floor with her legs parallel, but she can't do this. We're exact opposites. It's really interesting. So we're going to come down on the floor and do our renegade rows. We had built up to doing 9 on each side. We're going to go for 10 on each side this time. So the weight should be directly under your shoulders. You could have them on the inside and then lift them if it feels too weird to be holding it. But come into your plank. Nice wide stance to hold yourself steady. So 20 rows total. 6. 15, 18, last one, 18, and 20. Oh, catch your breath. Work your way onto your back. That's funny, as warm as the room gets, the metal grips of my dumbbells stay freezing. Oh. Let's come onto our backs. We're going to go for a fly and a half. So we're going to start opening up to a fly, coming up a half pulse, lowering down and lifting up. We're going for 12 of these also. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, halfway through, 7, 8, 9. Remember that slight bend in your elbow. 10, 11, 12. Good. So this came up in a discussion this week. How much weight should you use for a fly? And find time for me to talk about it when we're done with the set. But generally, what I found is what I use for a fly, because your shoulder gets put in a more vulnerable position, it's about half of what I would use for a dumbbell press. So maybe a third to a half, depending on how your arms and your shoulders are feeling. If you have shoulder issues, I go even lighter. But if your shoulders are feeling strong, resilient, feeling good, you'd want to try to work your way up to about 50%. But again, it's all how your shoulders feel, how strong the muscles are on either side of that joint to make that movement happen. So grab a drink and you take about, let's go 15, 20 more seconds. And then we'll go back to our plate squats. So you can keep doing what we did last time, or you can try to go heavier this time. And I'm going to double up, make this a goblet squat. So again, you want your feet nice and wide so your knees and your toes are turned out just a little bit, going in the same direction. We're going for 12 of these. You want to sink down so your elbows come on or just inside your knees. It actually feels pretty comfortable to sit here. Who wants to get up? That's work. Here we go. Up for 1 and 2. Good. 3, 4, nice. 5, 6. I like pressing the weights together. 7, it kind of makes everything feel more solid. 8, 9, make sure your weight's back on your heels, that you can lift your toes up. This is 10, 11, last one. Good. Nice, nice work. Stretch back, shift your weight side to side, your hips side to side. Let your low back stretch. So let's come up into our planks. Let's get ready for our renegade rows, second set. These don't get fancy. Well, they do get fancy. Next set will get fancy. This one, we're just going to keep rowing. Get used to holding that plank while you're lifting a heavy object. 8, 9, 10. Sink it back into child's pose. Catch your breath. Let your neck relax. And let's roll it over and do our second set of pec flies, 1.5. So last time we started at the bottom. And so, well, we started at the top, did a full fly, then came up for a pulse down all the way up. This time, let's do the pulse at the top with your arms up to the ceiling. So we'll start with arms up, come down part way, back up, come down all the way, and then all the way back up. So down part way is a little bit harder to stop against gravity. 2. Whoops. 3. Down part way, all the way up, down all the way up. Down part way, up, down all the way, and up. That's 6. We're halfway through. I'm halfway through. And 7. Use your hugging muscles. That's what pecs are for. They're not for showing off in mirrors at the gym. 8. 9. 10. Down all the way up. 11. Down all the way, up all the way. Last partial. Down, up, down all the way, up all the way. Bring the weights down safely. And stretch yourself out into a big long pencil. Let your heart rate slow down. Let your breathing come back to normal. Hug your knees into your chest and feel how much stronger that hug feels now that you've worked your pecs. Okay, it's bad joke morning. Here we go. Circle out your low back. I find when I do a lot of squats, which is why I don't do a lot of squats, my low back can get a little cranky. Not a pain, not an ow, just all the muscles there are like, what the heck are you doing to me? And you can't avoid it because when you're working your glutes, you're also, everything is connected, right? So the glutes go up into the lower back, they go down to the hamstrings come up to the pelvis, back muscles come down to the pelvis. It's all connected, so just be mindful. If it's just you're working me too hard feeling, or you haven't worked this muscle group in a while feeling, be kind to it and stretch it out. Functionally, squats are great for sitting, getting up and down off of toilets. People say Asian cultures, that's the way we used to be, and we don't do that anymore. But I think functionally, being able to propel yourself through space, being able to lunge, being able to work in lots of different planes of motion is more functional than a squat. So we work squats because they're good to work. It's a great exercise, but not everybody loves them, and I don't. So you're stuck with me. If you love squats, you might need to find someone else. Let's go back to our lighter weights, like we did the first round when we did the plate squat where we were pushing out. And let's come back into that same stance we had. Whatever is comfortable for you. I take a very wide squat just because my ankles. And let's make it a stir the pot. So we're not going to challenge the back too much with the weight, but we are going to challenge the core. Okay. So let's go for 12 stirs. We're going to alternate each time. So reaching out and coming around. So it's just one stir. Don't go crazy. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. 2 more. Nice work, you guys. Okay. So let's put that weight down. Find a lighter weight, or maybe no weight. If you're on your elbows, don't use a weight. But we can't be on our elbows for doing a renegade row anyway. What am I talking about? Here we go. So I'm going to go super light. And let me show you what we're going to do. So you're going to take your plank into a nice wide stance. We're gonna do a row. And if you want more challenge, bring it up into a side plank. So if you stick with renegade rows, go for 20, just like we've been doing the last 2 sets. If you want to increase the challenge and try rotating up into that side plank, let's make it 10 total. So we'll do 5 on each side. So lightweight, just so you have something to feel. Here we go. So rotate and lift and rotate down. 2, all the way up onto your sides. 3, feet are turned, body is turned. 4, 6, 7. You're just pulling that weight up along your body. And 10. Good work. Nice. Okay. Looking for heads popping up. Everybody disappears below their camera when we get down on the floor. Heads popping up means you're done. Good. Let's grab the weights you need for your head fly. It's our last time through. You can press any way you want that quarter pulse from the top or the bottom. I'm going to split it up halfway. So I'll do 6 of each. So I'm going down part way and up, down all the way and up. That's 2. Down, up, all the way down, all the way up for 3. And 4. 6, and then I'm going to switch and go up from the bottom. And 1. And 2. And 3. 4. 5. And 6. Beautiful. We are all done with that round of exercises. 3 sets. Let's come up to sitting. Maybe do a little twist. Have a little pause before we go into our next round. Just surrenders, push-ups, and side planks. And let's reach forward. Let your head, neck, and shoulders relax. Let your low back stretch. Your arms over to one side. And over to the other. Let's take another minute. Listen to your body, stretch what you think needs to be stretched. Grab a drink if you need it. Pet your dog. Say hi to your spouse. Whatever you need to do. So see how the time goes? The more we increase the number of reps, which is good, the longer things take, which is okay. It's not a problem. It's just when you only have an hour. We may get through 2 sets of these. We may get through 3. We'll see. We have a lot of time left. We keep forgetting we don't, well, I don't keep forgetting, but I look at the clock, I think, oh, we're stopping at the top of the hour, but we have another 15 minutes after that. So we still have 25 minutes. Should be plenty of time. So grab your weights. We're doing surrenders. We're going to go for 10. So 5 per side. think originally I thought we might be doing 10%, but that would take forever. So I'm like looking at my notes saying, what the hell was I thinking? So I like to start stepping back. Some people might like to go forward. To me, that feels really weird, but if that's you, you do you. For me, it's easier to step back and down. So starting 1 foot down, down, up, up. We'll add the arms in a minute, leading right. Good. Leading left, this is 3. Leading right. 4. 4. 5. Okay, good. Feeling good with that? I see everybody moving up and down. Hopefully it's becoming a more familiar move. And we're all getting better, getting up and down off the floor. Because we're gonna put our weights down and get back down on the floor. Up, down, up, down. It's the meaning of life. Okay. W push-ups. Plant those toes, lift those knees, anchor your lower body. Reach, pull, reach. Big exhale, brace and press. And lower. Reach, pull, reach, and press. 3. We did 8 last week. We're going for 10 this week. Any variety you've got. When you're all done, sink it back into child's pose. Okay, and then we're going to take a lightweight. 3 pounds, 5 pounds. So we can do our side planks from the bottom knee with the top leg outstretched because we want to be able to lift it up. Or both legs stacked or staggered with the top leg in front. Your choice, your comfort level, your ability. Let's come up into our side plank with the weight right in front of you. We're going to lift it up and put it on your hip. And from here, we're going to lift 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. And lower down. Pop it over to the other side. You know me, 3 sets. They're not all going to be identical. We've been working on this one. Oh, this is week 4. So technically, whew, this is much harder. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we're going to play with it a little bit, like we always do in week 4. Okay, so sitting up, leaning back. Let's give your legs a little stretch. Okay, back to our surrenders. Full arms this time, for me anyway. If you're following along, I will try to keep my sides together or organized. So step back left leg is leading, down, down, up, up, right leg leads, down, up, left leg leads down, down, left, up, right leg down, up, up. Down. Last time through, up, down, up. Beautiful. So you can tell me later which one you like least, the W push-ups or the surrenders. Maybe you won't like the leg lifts after this either. So you keep playing with it. But remember, you do you. The weights aren't working for you, don't use the weights. The arms are confusing you. Just drop the arms and get up and down off the floor. The W push-ups, you need to do from your knees. Amen, go for it. But we're doing 10 of them, however you can. Reach, pull, reach, and press. Pop yourself up in a plank. Reach, pull, reach, press. Pull, reach, press. You're going to be dreaming these phrases in your head tonight. Reach, pull, reach, press. 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't forget about bracing those abs and lifting with a big exhale. Like you're blowing yourself away from the floor. Big rocket thrusters. Lifting up. Oh, and sink back into child's pose. Good work. So we're not going to use the weight this next round of side planks. Sorry if that shocked you. I want everyone to try doing the side plank with their legs straight. And if you're focusing on just holding it with your legs straight, that's okay. Maybe you have a clock and you can keep track of how long you're doing it. If you've been holding it with straight legs, we're going to try lifting that bottom leg. Okay? So you can do bottom leg knee bent, lift up and down, or bottom leg straight, lift up and down. We're going to go for 10 lifts on each side. And up. 2, 3, 8, 9, 10. Feels a little different than moving the top leg, doesn't it? Let's swing it over to the other side. Okay. You want your bottom leg in front this time. Oh, and lift. And bring it down. I think we have time to do one more round of all of these. Ooh. Stretch it forward, out to one side, stretch out your obliques, and to the other side. Oh. Waiting for heads to pop up. Are you still with me? Okay. Grab a drink of water. And we'll go through these one last time and we'll just stay on the floor and stretch. Well, depending on what you guys tell me, this may or may not be the last time you see this workout. So I can't tell you won't see it again. At least not yet. Okay, weights in hand. Five sets on each side. Here we go. Down, down, up, down, right, and upright. Oops, I forgot the arms. I can't talk and do the arms at the same time, apparently. 2, 3, beautiful. I see so much improvement in how you're moving through these. 4, we're almost done. Good, last time through. One, down, down, up, up. The last one's down, down, up. Ta-da! Nice work. All the way up, don't finish it. I know we're coming back down to the floor. Good work, everyone. Catch your breath. I just increased my weight a little bit. So I am a little bit more winded. Okay. Last set of push-ups. Survival, you got this. Off your knees. Remember that big exhale and bracing before you push is what gives you, it makes it easier. It really does than trying to lift a body that doesn't want to be rigid. Make yourself rigid. Big exhale to power yourself up, and let's hit it. Reach, pull, reach, lift. Reach, pull, reach, lift. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And come into child's pose. For side planks, the set is really going very fast. We can take our time. For side plank leg lifts, you can continue to lift the upper leg. You can add a weight on that upper leg if that felt okay to you. Or we can continue to work on lifting the lower leg. It requires a lot more stability to get that leg moving. There's actually a name for it that I don't remember, but I'll look it up and I'll include it in my notes. You can actually have one leg on a bench and lift and lower the bottom leg, which is really cruel. It's really hard on both legs. So set up for whatever position you want. I'm going to be lifting the lower leg. I'm going to do it from my hand because I think it gives you a better view. And we're going to lower and lift. And 10. Ooh, let's bring it down. Flip it around. And do the same thing on side 2. So I did it knee bend before. If you're doing it straight leg, nice work. Let's roll onto our backs. Enjoy a well-deserved stretch. First thing to do is hug your knees in. Check in with how your low back is feeling. The thing about low backs is sometimes you can be doing things that hurt it, and sometimes you just need to adjust to being in new positions. But sometimes it feels the same way. You get that tightness in your low back and you think, uh-oh, what have I done? And I think sometimes you're just asking your muscles to go into a different range or to support a different amount of weight or to be in a different position. And sometimes you have to get used to that position because you haven't been there. Let's rock side to side. Take your arms out to the side. We'll bring our legs up into tabletop. So just gently going side to side over your low back. Where your SI joint is. Stretching out the quadratus lumborum, if you will. And then we're going to go side to side all the way down. Go for a nice big stretch. Take it as far as you can, keeping your shoulders on the floor. And then bring it up. And we'll go down to the other side. Shoulders stay down. Hips and low back get a nice big stretch. Okay. Let's do that one more time each side. Going all the way down. And up and down the other side. And up. And let's take it all the way over onto your side. We're going to tuck our knees up into fetal position. Hold on to your knees with your bottom hand. Your goal is to keep those knees stacked. You're going to reach forward and open like a book. Oh yeah, remember those flies. Let's stretch those muscles too. Try to pull your shoulder down towards the floor. Reach forward, up and open. And then let's carefully go back onto our backs and roll over to the other side. Same thing, tucking your knees up and opening out to the side. Try to keep your knees stacked. If your shoulder doesn't reach the floor in this position, don't worry. If you try 2 or 3 times and like me, you're still, who knows, an inch or 2 away from the floor. It's like gravity, do its thing. You're still getting a stretch. Okie dokie. Let's come onto our sides one more time. Prop yourself up. We're going to take that top leg and pull it back behind the bottom leg. So instead of being here for a stretch, we want to see if we can reach for that shin, the ankle, the foot, whatever you can get to, and pull that leg back. So we're getting a nice quad stretch, hip flexor stretch. And if your knee is way up here, try to pull it down. Nice. We're going to hold this for a little bit. Think about pressing your foot into your hand or your leg into your hand, whatever you can reach. If you're barely holding onto your heel in this position, just hold on. You're still getting a stretch. And let's come out of that. And I'm going to pivot around to the other side. You can just roll over. Let's do our quad stretch from this side. So even if you can't reach your leg, focus on pulling it back. See if you can reach back and get a stretch here. And then see if you can reach any part of your leg to hold on to give a little bit of traction. And then we're going to come onto our bellies. Bring your hands right about chest height. And we're going to lift up, pull your shoulder blades down, pull your shoulders away from your ears, squeeze your booty, and look up. And give your abs a nice big stretch. And let's rock up onto hands and knees And we'll do some big restorative hip circles. Let's do 2 more. And then let's go 4 the other way. So reversing direction, round we go. Take your knees nice and wide, sink back into child's pose. And then go over to one side. And slide your arms over to the other side. And you survived. Thanks for another great workout. We'll see you on Tuesday.